Well, the younger generation, particularly Gen Z, is showing a significant interest in politics and political activism. We're now seeing an influx of TikTok influencers using their collective fan base to promote certain issues, voter registration, and overall political involvement to get more young voters to the voting booths. But did their influence pay off at the polls during the midterm elections? Joining us now to discuss is political TikTok influencer and social media coordinator for the Daily Caller, Charlotte Waldron. Charlotte, great to have you with us this morning.
Hi, Katrina. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So we know that TikTok has a huge way of influencing people, especially the younger generations. Challenges, some of them dangerous, trends, the ever popular dances. I have yet to do one. But with young people becoming more and more politically involved, do you think this influence could extend into the area of legislation and policy? And does it need to extend there to reach younger voters?
I do think it has a very high chance of impacting further than just, being online and on the internet. Joe Biden recently, this whole year, has been inviting influencers, especially from TikTok, to the White House to sort of make content with him and also discuss legislation. We've seen a lot of different groups on TikTok and other social media platforms who use their platform to promote different issues, whether that, like you mentioned, is voting or social justice issues. So I definitely think it has a huge impact socially, and I think it can go further and impact legislation because our generation has a lot of vocal voice on the internet, and that extends into policy making and decision making. When there's enough societal pressure, I think that can definitely create a huge impact on legislation.
Do you think it's a conflict of interest that, we're talking about TikTok that is owned by a Chinese company, and there's a lot of discussion here in the United States to ban TikTok. So it seems odd to have American politics promoting itself to reach young American viewers on a Chinese platform.
Yes, it definitely is a conundrum. I don't know that we have an example or an alternative right now. But I will say that there are great alternatives, I think, that we can see coming up. For instance, Elon Musk has been talking about bringing back Vine, which was a phenomenally popular social media platform at the time. And so I think that if we bring back American-owned platforms rather than continuing to use CCP-controlled interfaces who we know sell our data and influence American children in negative ways, I think if we bring back American platforms, we can sort of start to see a change. We can bring back those platforms and use those instead. But I think that as it stands now, we do have to be able to use those platforms to reach our audiences and to reach people and promote your own ideals.
Yeah, I mean, and Gen Z, the Gen Z group isn't just voting, they're actually getting elected. Maxwell Frost was just elected as the first Gen Z member of Congress. Now, how much of an impact would you say Gen Z itself had on this 25-year-old Democrats' win?
I don't know the numbers for certain, but I would say, in my opinion, that probably had a huge impact. Gen Z likes to see other members of their generation in power, making changes. And so I would imagine that, his use of social media to promote his campaign probably had a significant impact on Gen Z.
Before we let you go, quick thing also, 25-year-old Republican candidate in New Hampshire, Caroline Leavitt, who we had interviewed here on Newsmax, she lost her election. So just about 20 seconds left to go, Charlotte. What do you think that young Republicans, candidates, need to do to get the red vote? Because a lot of young people, we know that they tend to be more liberal.
I think it's very important for young Republican candidates to focus on the issues that Gen Z actually cares about, being relatable to the Gen Z and not just, focusing on what the establishment Republican is doing and something that appeals to older generations. Obviously, you have to find the balance. So I think that they need to start appealing to the younger generation using their social media to that effect.
All right, Charlotte Waldron, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.